Now to discuss the Jaguars' new head coach is Frisco sports analyst James Coleman. James, just last week the fan base was all fired up about the possibility of Byron Leftwich coming to Jacksonville. That fell apart. Leftwich, like so many other candidates, had concerns about Trent Baalke. Why does Doug Pederson want this job?
Well, I think Doug Pederson has experience of working with a GM that he doesn't necessarily care for too much up there in Philly. But I think he just wants to coach, and he was ready to get in. And this was one of the first interviews that he had. And he was one of the Jags' first interviewees. And I think he saw the talent in Trevor Lawrence and the ability to possibly be able to turn this around like he did in Philly.
As of this moment, Trent Baalke still employed with the Big Cats. Reports say former Minnesota Vikings GM Rick Spellman and the Jags are in talks to make him some senior executive in the front office who will report directly to Shad Khan. Explain what this would mean for Baalke's future, and if you can, tell us why Khan refuses to move away from Baalke.
Well, what this does is it puts somebody in between Baalke and Shad Khan. So Shad's got to listen to and lean on this guy a little bit more, similar to what he did with Tom Coughlin. But this guy has always been an NFL exec, so there won't be any blurring of the lines between coach and front office. But he also brings in some stability and also some really good scouting. If you look at one of the times during quarantine, the joke actually with the Eagles picked a wide receiver. I believe it was Rager, and then Minnesota got the wide receiver that they're in love with right now. So I think he's able to come in and provide that context. As far as Baalke's done something really to make Shad truly believe that it's not his fault. But again, history, when you look at him in San Francisco, and even here, he's been a part of 3 coaches' firings in 3 years, just like he was in San Francisco. But I think the big reason is to have somebody that can actually make another coach or other hires feel more comfortable, especially free agents.
James, there were once 9 head coach vacancies in the NFL. 6 have been filled. None of them look like me or you. In the midst of all of this, Brian Flores has filed a lawsuit suing the NFL and 3 other teams for discrimination, among other things. Why is it in a league that is made up of about 70% black players, a black coach has not landed a job in this cycle, and what must be changed?
Really, it's inexcusable, but it's no different than anything when it comes to following sports, even media. When you look at here in Jacksonville, it's a predominantly black city. It's a big time, obviously 70% of the roster, but there's very few people who look like the guys covering them. Same thing can be said when it comes to obviously coaching and head coaches. The things that must change, you got to continue to see front office change. You got to see more African Americans there. You got to see more general managers and obviously more coordinators. You hire who you're comfortable with and who you came up with. And the Rooney Rule, as a rule, has good intentions, but all it does is make people have to kind of show face. You have to put some kind of punishment behind it, showing that if you do what is alleged to happen to Flores, you're going to face heavy fines. And I think that Flores case plus this new up-and-coming crop of coordinators and executives could spell change in 10 years, but 10 years is still too long. We need change today.
Thank you, James. By the way, that's Mike Tomlin. The video you're seeing there, your screen, the only black coach currently in the NFL. James, always good talking to you. Coming up